Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Nerdrotic. And we have a single subject to discuss today, and that is the rumors that have been spreading around that Chris Chibnall has been sacked from Doctor Who and Jodie left in solidarity, only to return to film her regeneration scene. There are other rumors out there that have been reported on by Doomcock and Bolstrek, all from, I believe, the same source. I'm not entirely 100% sure who this source is. I know one of the people reporting on it is a good guy. I like him. And that is the TARDIS Zone. And I know he has a source. And I am not here to question anybody's sources. I certainly know how these things go. People contact you when you have a YouTube channel. It doesn't matter how big it is. People contacted me long before I had 100,000 subs or 50,000 subs. So I'm not here to judge or speculate on any of that. If people say they have a source, I'll take them at their word and we'll see what plays out. Now, I didn't do a video on this because I usually like to have a couple of things. I like to have a couple of independent sources, one whom I know personally, and I like to have an article because I am not a news source. I like to react to news. When you're a news source channel, and bless anybody who wants to be one, kind of puts parameters and rules and restrictions that I don't like to have. I just like my opinion on this channel. I am free to say what I like. And I try not to be as measured at all. It doesn't really, because nobody comes to YouTube for measured. I'm sorry. They come for opinions. And this is what we do as fandom. So we are here to discuss, speculate, shoot down, question, whatever you want to do, because this is no different than what I did every day at the comic shop when I was shooting the shit with fans. We just talked about rumors and theories, and this is fandom. This is what shows are built on. So for people shooting this crap down, you don't understand fandom. And, for people who get on YouTubers for discussing this stuff, you don't understand YouTube. And that's okay. So I'm going to read this to you, and then I'll pop the camera on. I'm here. So this is from Reddit. It's from the Gallifrey database. I don't go here very much, to be honest with you. I have sources not within the BBC, though. They're loosely connected. They're in other organizations that contract with the BBC, but they are not directly with the BBC, and I have heard nothing, personally. So, but Doomcock ran with a video on this, and that's what we do. That's he stated clearly that it's rumor. Nothing is a fact. A lot of this, I have to say, is weird, but weirder things have happened. I mean, I cover a lot of Star Trek Discovery stuff, and they fire showrunners all the time. And they hire showrunners halfway through a season, literally in every show CBS All Access has produced for Star Trek. All right, rumor. Chris Chibnall has left Doctor Who. Posting this not because somebody's covering their ass here, not because I endorsed the story, but because someone was inevitably going to post about it, and that the post should be something that goes back to the original sources so people can judge for themselves rather than getting it ninth hand. Edit: as of the fifth and final update below, the rumor has been debunked by an anonymous BBC source. So that's not debunked. Sorry. If it was debunked by the BBC directly, and I have theories on why they wouldn't do that, and I'll talk about them later. A rumor is not debunked. A rumor from an anonymous source is not debunked by an anonymous source. Sorry. Talking to Radio Times. Why does Radio Times need an anonymous source? Don't they have a direct pipeline to Doctor Who? That's what I've heard. Thanks for playing, everybody. So, for about a week now, there have been some rumblings about a big behind-the-scenes news coming soon. Some of you may have heard the rumor about an announcement planned for September 28th. The full mad rush has been unleashed now that the higher ups in Doctor Who the higher up in the Doctor Who Appreciation Society has succinctly commented on Gallifrey Base. Chibnall has already gone. It's chaos in Cardiff. Another user who has a good track record of accurate spoiler reporting instantly replied, "Pete to the rescue," presumably referring to Pete McTee, writer of Kerblam, an awful episode. So I would just say that would be a lateral move if he took over. And overall super fan who would certainly be an adequate temporary caretaker in a panic scenario. I disagree. When someone called into question the apparently random basis of the rumor, the reliable user had said there's something in it this time, and there should be an official statement soon. Of course, social media is flying around with unverifiable claims about Chibnall being fired on Monday after poor responses to Series 12 test screenings, or Chibnall handing in his resignation 2 weeks ago and Jodie leaving with him, or Jodie staying but only to shoot her regeneration. But this all seems to be clout chasing from YouTubers and spoiler hound Twitterers, who automatically go, "I've been about this for ages," despite never hinting at any such thing. And in any case, the show was still filming on Monday, which it was. There was an Instagram post on Cultbox. They link it here. I'm not going to link to it. The best source I could find, a Doctor Who comic book writer who with supposed links to the production team. I believe he's gone and the show is basically effed. None of it is a surprise. As I understand, he didn't walk. He was pushed. They had to stand down production last month because there were no scripts to shoot. I don't think his heart was in it from the start, but it certainly wasn't in it past the first couple of blocks. They have a load of reshoots to do and 2 more specials to film. 2 specials, interesting. This Christmas and next, I believe, before October. They won't get it done at any rate. They don't shoot 2 Christmas specials at a time. It has been my experience that they shoot Christmas specials, they usually wait. They don't usually film them with the season, but I could be wrong about that. They certainly filmed Resolution later than all the filming from season 11. Edit, I do understand those quotes as saying that the scripts for the block last month weren't finalized is in time for shooting. They weren't finalized in time for shooting, not just completely not ready. Which is obviously false. If this were the real case, it would undoubtedly be the worst thing to happen to the TV show since the Piers Wenger debacle. No, I think it would be the best thing to happen to the show in quite some time. And if not the start of the revival, and that's not even taking into account Jodie's past statements that she would leave with Chibnall. And yes, I'm sticking by that. I did a video a year and a half ago from Starburst Magazine's article stating that she would do the same and that Chibnall would leave after Series 12 because of problems he was having with the BBC. Again, that was stated by Starburst Magazine. You can search my channel to find that video. But could a professional TV writer really be that unprofessional? Absolutely. Happens all the time. It's also possible that the BBC and Chibnall have merely decided that he wouldn't be the showrunner for Series 13, which I think is very plausible. And the internet has jumped the gun. But it's unsurprising that if this was Chibnall's news that the BBC was planning to announce at the end of September, it leaked out before that. Maybe the leak will monetize the official confirmation. Maybe not. I'll update you. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. I'll update you with if any more stories or if any more things unfold. Update number 1. I was able to verify the identity of the comics writer and add more to their commentary, but he doesn't give the identity, of course. This is the closest thing we have to a credible source. Update 2. On another forum, the reliable user and one other vague posted about craziness behind the scenes. A full half hour before the news broke on Gallifrey Brace. They're a little more frank about the information there, and while it mainly echoes the same basic structure, Chibnall gone, McTee taking over, more to be leaked or announced soon. There are a few tidbits. The BBC are said to be very keen to keep Jodie, or rather than her leave, and not sure if she's decided that yet. Filming has been remounted and will carry on until October with when the contracts run out. They are currently on reshoots for early shot episodes and still have a special to film. Regarding scripts for next series, tardiness may be an issue. And a link to this tweet shows Series 4 writers eating dinner together Sunday night, and that's last Sunday night. This seems to back up some of the info. The comics writer, either this is independent confirmation that something big is actually going on, or all these people, usually reliable spoiler hound and comics writer, are getting their information from a shared source. We'll see if this announcement ever arrives. Update 3, the man, the myth, the Moffat himself weighs in. I have no insider except this. I worked on the show for 14 years, and the total number of correct rumors was none at all. The nastier the story, the bigger the lie. Well, we all know that's not true, including the rumor of Moffat leaving. That one turned out to be pretty true, and there's more than that. And, of course, there is the Radio Times article that dropped. But we are hearing that there will be a press release issued at 2:30 p.m. in respect to current developments on Doctor Who. Well, that came and went. So, and that never happened. So the 5th update was the Radio Times article. So there's also other stuff out there. There's Neil Gaiman taking over and Michael Sheen. Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. I almost did something very bad there. There we go. There we go. Hi, everybody. We're still live. Damn, I almost stopped the stream accidentally. That would have been bad. But yeah, so we need to talk about this. Let's talk about this in the chat. And Moffat does lie all the time. And, you know, I thought, again, better than doing a video, I'd rather talk to you guys about it because I'm really not sure about this. And again, there's a rumor out there that Neil Gaiman is going to take over and Michael Sheen would be the Doctor, which, I mean, all of this sounds great. And it has something to do with the licensees. It sounds very familiar to the Star Trek Discovery situation. But there's no verifiable source on this. There's been no articles written on it. I would think that like the Mirror would be all over this if this were even close to being true. Now, there could have been something written in the last half hour. I have not checked. But let's get to the chat here and we'll discuss this. Now, as far as Neil Gaiman and Michael Sheen being involved, I just don't see that happening. Although it's possible, Neil Gaiman just signed an exclusive deal with Amazon to develop stuff there. He's bringing American Gods over to Amazon. He's got, we don't know if we're getting a Good Omens season 2 yet. I don't think that's been announced, but he's going to be developing other stuff. So, plus there's a Sandman series coming out that I think he's involved in. He's never wanted to be a showrunner, but all of a sudden he's doing it. He would be great. I would be all for that. And Michael Sheen being the Doctor, hell yeah. I would love all of this to be true. I'm just not sure if it is. I gotta say, I'm not sure. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I think there's some truth to the rumors that the BBC is not happy that they had to wait an extra year. There was a delay of the show, and this was because of Chris Chibnall, because he said he couldn't produce a show every year. Although there are much bigger shows that get produced every year that have more special effects. And maybe it's because of the constraints of the BBC. I don't know. I'm just speculating right there. I have no idea. But this made a lot of people happy. And that's something the BBC had to notice. That this generated a lot of excitement. You know, the same thing happened when Kurtzman was rumored to be removed directly from Picard, being in creative control of Picard and possibly Discovery and other shows as well. And we did get Michael Chabon announced as the showrunner for Star Trek Picard. So that turned out to be pretty true. And while he's still involved because, he owns the production company that works on Star Trek. So he's still the mouthpiece. He still goes out there. But Michael Chabon supposedly is running Star Trek Picard at this point, who was running it before. And when that was announced, people were overjoyed. And CBS noticed that. So I'm sure the BBC notices any joy when it comes to Jodie and Chris Chibnall. Now, aside from Jodie, we could just talk about Chris Chibnall. Even the people who supported Jodie weren't happy with Chris Chibnall. Not everybody, but a lot. There's a split in the fandom. And you got to ask yourself, if they had just cast, if they would have brought in any other showrunner and cast, pick somebody, Richard Madden, we wouldn't be in this situation. Doctor Who would probably be as popular as ever. The ratings would increase. And more importantly, they would have stayed steady the whole time instead of dropping. A lot of people like to hang their hat on those first 2 days. I've gone over it ad infinitum. It was a serious drop from opening to closing. This was on the best day possible during the best time possible, and they still bled viewers. And now they're going to be back on Saturday, coming out in fall, and it's going to be a different story. And here in the States, while the viewing numbers were up again slightly, not incredibly high. And I said this. I was just on a live stream with. I just did a 3-hour live stream with Doomcock. We talked about this a little bit, and the excitement here in the States started going down during the Moffat era. And we all know that. Candace Marie, one last look of The Expanse, and I am waiting for one femme antagonist in the story that doesn't get a redeeming arc. Heck, I'll take just one female that isn't a superior or scientist engineer. Please, Amazon, subvert my expectations here. Was it the last? You mean the very last book? Like book 8? Yeah, that's kind of true. The later books get pretty bad, to be honest with you. So hail everybody. Most big time writers are left-leaning, but this is a huge difference between leftist preacher who wants to remake the world in their image and a good writer. Gaiman is the latter, I think. Yeah, I agree with that. Nobody, I don't care what a writer's politics are, as long as their personal politics don't bleed in and destroy a narrative. And that's what happened with Doctor Who. Now, who was the one who dictated that? Well, I think it was the BBC and Chris Chibnall. I think there's a lot of evidence that there's a checklist. Now, I have read the diversity inclusion, I don't know what they report, manifesto, whatever it is, for the BBC. A couple of people have sent it to me. I read the whole damn thing, and it's clear that's what they do. That really explains what really stood out was in Resolution when the 13th Doctor is in the police station and she meets the cop, and he doesn't give her his name, but he gives her his orientation. Hello, I'm gay. I don't know anybody who does that. I don't know a single person who does that. So, yeah, that's a little weird. TJ Paris for $5. Not sure which executive wants to be the one to axe the first female doctor. Yeah, that's what you have to question at this point. Listen, I want this to be true. I really do. And I'm not disrespecting anybody running with this at all. I would probably do the same. I just didn't this time. My gut told me to just kind of wait. And I thought it would be better to have a live stream and talk about it. And that's what we used to do at the comic shop. We'd shoot the shit, talk about this stuff all the time. And, these rumors keep coming up. Rumors do come from somewhere. Sometimes it's just a fan. Sometimes there's reality behind them. It's not the whole truth. And we'll just have to wait and see. But we heard specifically within that Reddit post that there would be an announcement. That didn't happen. I don't know where that came from. There's some announcement coming. Why September 28th? That's such a weird date to pick for an announcement. Maybe it's prior to contracts running out. Maybe they've re-signed Jodie for another season, or she's leaving. No, I don't think they would axe Jodie. I don't think any executive at the BBC would do that in a million years. I think they would. I think she's pretty much unfireable at this point. But I think she might leave. It certainly, you saw Chris Eccleston, and you see that dealing with the BBC within the show is kind of a pain in the ass. The politics within the organization are pretty thick. That is widely reported everywhere. So it must be a pain in the ass to work on this show that's kind of a passion project. There's a lot of restrictions around Doctor Who. You're not as creatively free as you are with another show. But it's a privilege to work on it. But it doesn't look at all like Chris Chibnall's heart is in it at all. It looks it's very pedestrian. You know, Starry-Eyed Girl said on Twitter something, you know, that's, you remember when Doctor Who was event television? I mean, how long ago was that? Not even the holiday specials are event television anymore. It's pedestrian. It's basic. It's boring. It's horrible after school trash. It is the worst kind of soap opera drama. And it wasn't doing that great before that. But to make the Moff look like a god, you have to, some pretty horrible writing. And Chris Chibnall didn't even write very good episodes when he was under, you know, RTD and Moffat. I wasn't a fan of any of his episodes. God, I forget the YouTuber's name, but he uses like Netflix logo, and he rips Chibnall for episode 40. He constantly using a countdown clock and the arbitrary countdown clock. It's a great video. But listen, I just don't think they would sack anybody in the middle of a season unless it was just horrid. And this is sounding a lot like the news we got from Star Trek Discovery. It's almost exactly like poor test screenings. But with Star Trek Discovery, because CBS All Access has leaks like a sieve, we got a lot more news. Now, those of us over here in the States, we don't have a lot of inside people at the BBC, and I'm fine just speculating. I have no problem because it's pretty noticeable from the outside that things aren't great because the product sucks. It's terrible, and it's not getting any better. And Series 12 is not, you could put all the freaking Jadoon and the Cybermen and the Ice Warriors and bring back Roger Delgado from the dead, and it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen for this show. I'm so happy to hear the rumors about Chibnall and Jodie. I spelled it. Oh, I'm sorry. Chinball. Sorry. I said it wrong. And I spelled it that way on purpose. If these rumors turn out to be true, then I will count that a massive victory for the Fandom Menace. It certainly is. It's a massive victory for Whovians, fans everywhere, the Fandom Menace, who just want good storytelling. And forget the narratives from the other YouTubers, the Council of Mrs. Tardis's, whoever they are, that want to debunk us or call us alt-right cults, or say if you are against Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, you are for climate. You are causing climate change if you are against Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. And if you're killing people, by the way, you're basically killing people. Yeah, that was a good video. That wasn't hyperbolic at all. Father Christopher Miller, $2. A new Heart finale with Capaldi would be awesome. It would be. I would love for Jamie Matheson to be writing for this show. And I would, you know what? If you're going to bring a doctor back, Paul McGann, give him a run. Do some specials. I don't know why they don't do that. They get so hung up. That's why, it's the BBC. And, Star Trek Discovery and CBS All Access is failing, but at least they're trying to put out other shows. Why, they're leaving so much money at the table. Captain Jack Harkness is more popular than ever. Why is he not in a TV show? And the news of the movie, and that was just a rumor started by John Barrowman. And believe me, that's getting talked about more than anything from Series 12. And I just tweeted earlier, a screen cap. I Googled Doctor Who news, and the first 3 articles were all David Tennant, David Tennant, David Tennant. That shows you where it is, and that's because they just did a Fathom event here in the States where they showed the End of Time in the theater, which I freaking bought tickets to and I missed. Damn it. But yeah, people would love that era to come back. and it's not going backwards. You can definitely progress the stories within the narrative if you just keep it fun, thrilling, exciting, make it for everybody. Our good friend Svi Lebetkin, who, if you ever see his avatar, it's an alien. It's he's got a little alien avatar, and he did a video on I got the British copy, but we don't have the John Pertwee Blu-ray here yet in the States. We're not going to get it until October, but I got one from the UK. And the special features on it have the Moff saying something like that. I gained a lot of respect for him. He said, "Doctor Who's for everybody." And, he gave a little gave the back of his hand to Chris Chibnall without naming him. But he said, you have to make the Doctor for everybody because he is all things, because he is a Time Lord. And that's the biggest problem with PC culture. And I did a video on this over a year ago. My very first Doctor Who is 2 PC video where Stephen Fry was with Jordan Peterson on the side of Jordan Peterson debating against PC culture, and he just summed it up. I mean, Stephen Fry doesn't sum anything up, and neither do I. But I'll sum it up with this. He said, "Political correct culture is not based on being. It's not based on an ideology. It's the obsession of being right. That's it. It's just people obsessed with that their point of view is right, and they just won't listen, can't listen to another point of view or even entertain it, and." Especially when it's something light, ignore it. Stephen Moffat said the Doctor is both a pacifist and somebody who will join a military organization, is both pacifist and constantly looks for trouble. And it's true. The Doctor is all things because he is a flawed God. And that's why we love him. He's a relatable God. He's a God that makes huge mistakes, that puts the people he loves in danger. He can be scary. He can be charming, approachable, unapproachable, all things. Things Jodie could not be. I could be won over I could always be won over by good writing every day. If Doctor Who Series 11 was written well, I could still say, I really wasn't down with the female Doctor, but it was a pretty good show. I was totally okay with saying it. I didn't think it would happen because I knew when we got the female Doctor, we'd also get the agenda along with it. And they seem to have to go to with each other. And that is what hurts Jodie the most. That's what hurts everything the most. All this first female, first this, first that, it comes with a very partisan, short-sighted agenda. And you know what? Again, Doctor Who was the show for everybody. It brought everybody together. It used to fill my store for viewing parties. It took over Comic-Con for a couple of years. And this is during the run of Game of Thrones, and there was MCU movies. And you know what owned Comic-Con in 2012 and 2013? Doctor Frackin' Who. Bigger than anything. There was more cosplay. There was no cosplaying this year. They had a very little presence. They didn't show up for Comic-Con, and I just said in the last live stream, I saw more women cosplaying as Capaldi than as Jodie. It was 6-4, and they looked great, by the way. So that tells you everything you need to know. The fandom's in not good shape. If everything was fine, why the delay? Why the move back to Saturday? Why reconsider Christmas specials? Why are you bringing back the old villains? Why the constant change of tone of the series? Every freaking week it was, we're going to have a darker tone, and then we're going to fight climate change, and Jadoon. So maybe they're going to fight the climate change with the Jadoon. And then they're going to have a hyper PC episode where they will show an execution in one of those German places that were evil that people didn't come back from. I can't wait to watch that with the kids. Let's sit down and watch that one, little buddy. My kids dipped out of Doctor Who a long time ago, and it appears a lot of kids did, because those years, 2013, 2012, prior to that, there were kids running around with sonic screwdrivers and little bow ties. It was freaking brilliant. Like all these great men and women in TARDIS dresses, or not Dalek dresses, and it was great. It was a good time, but all good times end. And the BBC got arrogant, and instead of creating a new show with a new female character, which would only create more Doctor Who and make you more money that you can show at a different time of year. So you constantly are in the world of Doctor Who. Wow, that'd be terrible. Nobody'd want that. You decide to replace something you didn't need to replace. And on top of that, you wrote it poorly. It was just poor execution from the get-go. And yes, you got fabulous ratings at the beginning, and they sunk. It went down like a lead balloon. We have a lot of people here. Thanks for showing up. Let's get to you guys. Enough of what I've got to say about this. I want to hear what you got to say. What do you think of the rumors? Again, before we start in, I will tell you I'm a definitive I don't know. I know one of the people reporting them, TARDIS Zone. TARDIS Zone has always been good to me. He's always been good to me. So always shouted out, tweets me information. So, go check out his channel, see for yourself. We got Joe out there. And I haven't heard from a lot of people. I've actually been traveling a lot, and this is the success of the channel has been great. I'm very grateful for it. I'm still pretty new at this. All right. So I'm trying to get through all the messages. I've never gotten this many emails or DMs in my life, and I'm trying to sift through them and prioritize. And I've got a little help from Mrs. Nerderotic now, but I'm about a week behind on emails. So if I haven't gotten back, I will. I apologize. Joel Tamburo for $10. As to the ratings, all they really did was get back to season 8 overall. They need to de-woke the show and get real sci-fi writers to write the stories and cast better actor/actress in the lead role. I'm a reasonable guy. You blow me away with good writing, and we'll see how I feel about the female Doctor. I don't like the you know what I don't like? What was behind it? If it was something within canon that they built up to that made sense, sure, okay. But replacing something to punish some straw man to get back at the patriarchy, I mean, that's for one, it's weird, and that's what they really did. It's just such a mind-boggling decision, but that just goes to show that the BBC does not run like an American company. American companies need to make money to exist. And they can dick around for a little while, but not long. You watch. I just talked about, we're in the streaming wars here in America. I don't know if that's going to affect you in the UK, but the entertainment industry is going through a paradigm shift right now. This is bigger than the Chinese market coming in the films. This is bigger than anything, and it's going to end some companies, and it's going to create new ones, and it's going to force other companies to work with companies they don't like to. But the streaming wars are essentially, everybody's cut their cable here. Their cable packages, or most everybody, they're getting there. And every single organization now wants their own streaming service. Unfortunately, there's so many other contracts with other companies, it's too diluted to talk about. But basically what's going to happen is they're going to try to pull all physical media. They're going to try to pull everything they own back to their streaming service, make it exclusive, and try to cut out the middleman and sell directly to the consumer. I hate that word. There's only about 3 or 4 companies that are going to survive this. And all the other ones are going to have to work with Netflix or Amazon. Now, Netflix has shown some weakness lately. Doctor Who has gone to HBO Max here in the States. That's a horrible move. So they went from Netflix, which made them more popular. Doctor Who, I'm sure you guys in the UK, I come from the American perspective, and I know it's completely different. And I respect it. I am an Anglophile. I love the UK in every way. And but I still don't understand every, I don't understand all the slang, and there's subtleties that I'll miss in the language because I'm American. But what Doctor Who has never really caught on over here until it hit Netflix. And then it was getting to the normies. It was getting to everybody, and people loved it. They loved it to death. That's all people talked about in my comic shop. And again, I used to play it nonstop, and I created a lot of Doctor Who fans. over the few years at the comic shop. It was on every day. I wouldn't play anything else, and I never got a single complaint, not one. And we would start with Eccleston. I didn't play a lot of classic. I played a lot of New Who, and we'd just go all the way through to season 6, start right over again. And it created a lot of fans. Kids loved it. And we started doing viewing parties, and it was half kids and the parents. We had a couple of Doctor Who themed birthday parties. It was cool as hell. It's not happening anymore. It's not even a show for kids anymore. The Doctor 14 Blu-ray reviews, who always has an interesting super chat. Thank you for the £2, my friend. 24 season 8 was woke with a female president. Well, listen, there's woke and there's progressive and there's just showing a different perspective. Previous Doctor Who to me was not woke until season 9. Season 8, you saw bits of it. I mean, there's always, it's always been, it's the UK, it's the BBC. You expect that, but it's always been, I don't know. They've always had the UK always has a good sense of humor about their stuff too, or used to. Not anymore. Now the stick is right back up their arse, but you know what? Same here. Same here in the States, by the way, not here personally. I pulled the stick out of my ass years ago. No, it wasn't woke. It wasn't woke. It was Doctor Who. The Doctor Who that used to present other sides of an argument. That Doctor Who. I remember that Doctor Who because I watched it. I did. But listen, that's not woke. That isn't woke. What's woke is in the second episode, trying to create a line within your narrative so you can get to the words stronger together. So they sat down in the writer's room. Well, we want to fit in stronger together into our script. So let's create a scenario around that to get that in. That's crapping all over your narrative to get for agenda. That's a very specific thing that really stood out. They really wanted to get Hillary Clinton's autobiography and campaign slogan into series 2 or into episode 2 of series 11. Whether you're for that side or not, it stuck out like a sore thumb. It was there. And again, I don't care about politics. Listen, I don't want them in anything, but I'm realistic. If they just tempered it quite a bit, I would be for, a moratorium on politics for a couple years, and let's just enjoy entertainment, come together, and let the politics be divisive, not entertainment, but we can dream. Disabled Llama for Australian $10. I'm so happy to hear these rumors. Did I read that one already? Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. But thank you, Disabled Llama, for the Australian $10. Huge victory for the Fandom Menace. Let's go down to... And thank Father Christopher Miller. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. And he is a father, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not religious. Hail Mary. Hail Mary Ashmead. Nova Roma for $9.99. William Hartnell and Tom Baker are the real doctors. Enjoy The Martian Chronicles and Logan's Run because classic sci-fi is amazing. Propeller Man rocks. Classic sci-fi is amazing. And it's fun to rewatch when I'm older. I watched a ton of that when I was a kid. And rewatching, I still love Logan's Run. And it's one of the most dated movies. There is no sanctuary. But it's a great movie. Thank you, Nova Roma, for $9.99. The Grand Inquisitor is here from the Fandom Menace. $2. Gary just sent you an email with a Star Trek meme. I will check it out. Thank you. Thank you for the emails. By the way, email gary@nerdrotic.com. And I'm going to jump back and forth because I really want to know what you think. So I'm going to, yes, please fondle that like button, lick it, caress it, love it, and press it. Or oppress it, as our friend Jesse Milestone says at Mindless Entertainment, who is, not holding back on those public displays of affection. You go, girl. I like Jeff. He's a good guy. From World Class Bullshitters. Barbarella is a female empowering movie and enjoy, says Nova Roma for $1.99. Yes, And for years, I saw an edited version of that. And then I saw the real version when I was older. And I went, ooh, I wasn't seeing the good parts of the movie. I really wasn't. Mike Brady. Mike Brady. He's here. He's alive. Marcia. Where's Marcia? Where's Greg? For $2. Did you see Israel crashed tardigrades onto the moon? I did. Anas Abdin should sue the moon. I'm just kidding, Anas. But that's funny. Why did they mean to crash them on the moon? Are they trying to create a giant water bear race that's going to take us over and hopefully make better Doctor Who? Because if they can, then they can totally take us over. I'm fine. Mellow E for $5. So glad about your success. I don't even watch TV, but you're fun and entertaining. Wow, thanks. Shout out to Englentine Comics Division Weaponized Nerd Rage. Yes, 3 great YouTubers. Englentine was an inspiration and an original 4 Horsemen OG of Comicsgate. Comics Division's always been there. I would say he's an OG as well, and he co-hosts Friday Night Tights with me. That comes back tomorrow. And Weaponized Nerd Rage is he's just wep. He hangs out with homeless people, smokes cigarettes, and talks on the internet. Really good. He talks on the internet good. I love Scotch for $20 and no comment. Well, it says it all there. I love Scotch. So I'm wearing, it took me a while. I had to find this. I broke out one of my Doctor Who shirts. I still love this show. Hey, if anybody out there has a line on the 8th Doctor, I forgot the name of the store in the UK. They had an exclusive 8th Doctor Dalek action figure set from Big Finish because Doctor Who's doing so well, they need to make Big Finish action figures, which I would buy the shit out of. If anybody's got a line on one of those, Gary at nerdrotic.com. I couldn't find any on eBay, and I want one badly. I'll pay good American money for that. I've got a PayPal. Mech 1164 for $5. When the Sonic looked like a female pleasure device, I knew we were in trouble. I know. Why did they do that? The first thing I would have done is I would have made the Sonic less phallic. But I think they wanted to make it more phallic for reasons. Yeah, it's not a good design. None of the designs are good. The inside of the TARDIS looked terrible, and you never saw the inside of the TARDIS, by the way. And oh yeah, I watched every episode twice. And Star Trek Discovery is still worse. I go back and forth, but Star Trek Discovery has a second season. Now, after I see series 12 of Jodie Whittaker's wokeness, yeah, I want to hear more of the previous Doctors were just a practice of the male gaze. Was that what she said? Something to that effect. Mexican Iron Man, my good friend, ex-Mexican Iron Man, who inspired the title of my autobiography, Crisis in Infinite Tijuanas. $4.99 from California. I never had heard about Doctor Who until I stumbled onto it on Netflix, and it was awesome. Well, until it decided to suck. Thank you for $4.99, and that is true. And the only reason I say that is that's what everybody told me at the store. I'm like, how did you get into Doctor Who? And there were some who said, we have a kind of a BBC here. It's called the Public Broadcasting Service, and they beg for money all the time, and it's publicly funded. Well, back when I was young, it was great, and all they did was show British television. And that's why, Generation X, it's an entire generation brought up on British television. Fawlty Towers, Monty Python, Benny Hill, which wasn't on PBS, and Black Adder, and of course Doctor Who, and for a time Red Dwarf, and and yeah, that's what we watched. We got home from school, we watched a little Doctor Who, watched a little Monty Python, and those are my favorite things in the world. And that's all. In Hitchhiker is my favorite thing in the world, and and that occupies the same world as Doctor Who for me. So it holds a very close place to my heart. Excuse me. I mean to sip. Ooh, that is Death Wish coffee, and true to its name. Ooh, that's tangy. Oh, but man, that's like doing a bump of Coke. Holy shit. TJ Paris for $2. Gotta go, but don't forget my Twilight Zone email. I won't. Why you gotta go? Why things just got good, dude. I love this super chat here. Oh, I missed a bunch. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back. I love the super chat. Says I don't watch TV, but you watch me. And that's something that needs to be considered. Not me. Is people watching YouTube, interacting on YouTube. I'm gravitating way more to that. If world class bullshitters is streaming, or EVS, or Jeremy, or Doomcock, and there's a TV show on, I'm watching the live stream. But I watch an episode of Doctor Who every day. I have for years. I usually do it, at the workout or after the workout while I'm cleaning. I mean, I don't fully pay attention, but I fire up an episode of Doctor Who every day. Now I'm going to start Doctor Who reviews. They'll start out on my Patreon. They'll probably come over here. Once I want to do my John Pertwee Blu-ray set. Pertwee. I always have trouble saying his name. The Pert. I'm going to do a review of that Blu-ray. To me, it's the best introduction of a Doctor. That's it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. I missed a couple here. Jodie Bowie for $2. My friends and I had watch parties. Now I don't care. It's Doctor Who cares. That's pretty much what I'm going to call every review when the show eventually comes out. It will be Doctor Who cares. That's what I did the last couple of videos with. And it's apathy. That's what sets in after you go through the 5 stages of grief, you're angry, then you just don't give a shit. Star Wars is starting to experience that, but Doctor Who experienced it faster because the audience was already degrading, aging out, and which sucks because you had, out of all the franchises, and I'm not kidding here, aside from Marvel, Doctor Who got to the kids the best, in the best ways. And that sounds terrible, but they engaged the kids. And again, it was family viewing. It was the rare show that a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 50-year-old could watch, of any color, persuasion, size, name, rank, serial number. As exciting as all this is, the far left narrative and feminist push are not going anywhere. Agreed. As long as Doctor Who runs on the BBC, this will be an issue for Australian $5. Gibbon what is this? Gibbomanland. Agreed. Pete McTeague can come in. Jamie Matheson, RTD can come back. Stephen Moffat can come back. David Tennant come back. Tom Baker come back. It's going to be current year BBC. And that's a problem. Now, maybe, listen, we Whovians, we in fandom, we are eternal optimists. That's why we're still around. That's why we're still around. And we hope that they will turn it around. And when we say turn it around, I hope somebody from the BBC is watching and reading this chat. Forget listening to me. I hope you're reading the chat. When we say turn it around, we mean just go back to how you presented. That you can modernize stuff, of course, but the basic message of Doctor Who from a few years ago. We're not asking for uber right-wing politics, and we don't want uber left-wing politics, which we already got. We just want something everybody can watch and enjoy and not think about that crap. You're not going to teach any lessons through Doctor Who. I'm sorry to report that to you. You're not Star Trek. Star Trek did create a lot of scientists back then. It's not doing it now. You are a very good entertainment show that families used to be able to watch. You made some of the best damn toys in the world ever. I stand by that statement. Best damn action figures ever. And now you're a shadow of your former self and you're not a success. Talk about the ratings all you want. If they were such great ratings, then why you would not move the day? You would keep the day. You would release it in fall. You would do the exact same thing you did last time. And maybe that's where they screw up. It's like, if you find a sweet spot where people are enjoying something. You don't move away from it. And you certainly could have done another series in a year. I mean, it's what, 12 episodes? What are we getting? 12, 13 episodes? Are we getting a holiday special? Do we care? No. Gary, you just keep fighting the good fight. Says God, Godzilla, and tanks. Thank you very much. Okay, are you somebody who changed your name or are you new? I have not seen that one before. Welcome if you are new. If you're somebody who changed your name, well, hello again. And I won't forget the Twilight Zone email, TJ. And all right, I just want to make sure I get caught up there. And TJ's leaving. Not religious, but am praying the rumors are true, says Garbage for £4. Me too. Me as well. Hashtag me too. I want them to be true. I was hoping to hear more, and I did stay up really late last night, hoping we would get, again, like the Mirror or the Daily Mail or one of those fine pieces of journalism to report something. Digital Spy, Screen Rant, Movie Web, something, but nothing. The only people I would consider officially reporting on it was TARDIS Zone, Doomcock, Bulls Trek did a video, and Clownfish TV did a video. But it looks like so why would the BBC not say anything? Well, I think you could look at the logic of they don't want to respond to every one of these damn rumors. I think that sounds reasonable to me. This one though, they could easily squash and in a lot of ways make people look bad. You could take care of two things at once. And this is the same question I put to CBS. If we are wrong, come out with a complete denial. When I said that Alex Kurtzman, when I reported he was removed from Star Trek Picard and I was getting a lot of crap, and that's fine. That's part of the gig. I did say it was a rumor. They trotted out Kurtzman for an interview, and at any moment in that podcast, the podcasters could have asked, "Hey, there's a rumor that you're fired from Picard. You're not, are you?" They could have even led the question, and he could have said, "No, I am not. I am working on Picard. I'm in complete control of Picard. Those guys are full of it." Then it's done. It's over. It's over. That's the horse's mouth. We hear it. So what did they debunk this rumor with? A Radio Times article with anonymous sources. Not good enough. Not good enough. Oh man, some of these. Bishop Cruz for $2. Sometimes it takes a minute for the brain to recognize the words. What is your favorite Eighth Doctor Big Finish story? Ooh. I've only heard a few of them. I will have to say it is Dark Eyes. Dark Eyes, but I've only got the first volume. Hang on, it's around here somewhere. It's behind me. I have yet to hear the first volume of the Time War, which is on this shelf, right? See that's one of my Big Finish shelves right there. So I have another couple Big Finish shelves over there. I am way behind on Big Finish, but I like the original Dark Eyes. The whole Dark Eyes is great. It was really great. Good stuff. Big Finish must be doing so good right now. And that's good. I mean, freaking Star Trek needs to have a Big Finish, right? Can we get that? Well, no, never mind. Sorry. I take that back. When CBS doesn't own it anymore. We need, I think that'd be great. It'd be great to have a Game of Thrones Big Finish, from the book, do the book big, the UK appreciates a good audio drama. And there's some of us in the States who love them as much as TV shows, if not more. So as far as the rumors, here's what I think is going to happen. I'm going to stick to and I could listen. If this rumor is true, I will be happy as hell. And all the credit, the first person I heard it from was the TARDIS Zone, and I will give them full credit. I don't need the credit. I don't need to be first. I'm not a news agency. I don't care. If I do a video on it, it'll probably do okay. Not today. The reason I didn't drop a video today of any kind was there's a real-time view count bug with YouTube, and you don't get those back. So I'm not going to drop a video which normally might do good on a day where it would look like it's not doing good, and then it doesn't get shared as much. So I'll wait. That's why I didn't do a video on it today. I forgot what else I was going to say, but I'll remember it. But so far, Dark Eyes, Bishop Cruz, but that could change very soon when I when I listen to the Time War, which I might do tonight. I got to rearranging the office for the last year. Josh Long for $5, completely off topic, but just heads up everyone that The Boys Volume 1 is free to read on Amazon Prime on Kindle digital, but still great. The comic is brilliant. Read it. And if you stick with it, I'm in Volume 4. I'm in the first 3 pages. Just Bella for $5. I grew up on Doctor Who on PBS back when Tom Baker was the Doctor. Loved it and watched it until the newest one. I hope they return to telling good sci-fi. And that Just Bella is what I hear the most from people who are okay with Jodie, from people who were just against the writing. I just want good sci-fi. But we can't get that right now. And we won't get that. And that was just brought up in the super chat. And unfortunately, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. So here's my guess. Chris Chibnall will leave after season 12. Jodie will probably go with him. They'll probably do a big, hey, you were awesome as the first female Doctor. It's kind of surprising. I always thought she would stick around for 3 seasons, but that means like 2 more years of her career, and she's a mom. And I really want her to go. And then they'll bring somebody else in. I guarantee you it will be a female showrunner. They won't even consider a male. So that's why I don't think, and this is just my speculation, especially after reading that BBC Diversity and Inclusivity Manifesto, that there's no way in hell they would hire a dude, especially a white dude, to run the show again. Not happening. So there you've already limited yourself. So are there women who could run the show? Certainly. And why not? I don't care. There's been great women who produced it, and a woman was originally behind the damn show in the first place. So this show's never really had that problem, other than it was developed in the 60s. So there was, it was the 60s. And there's this constant judging people from the past on current, day standards, which is, ridiculous and disingenuous. So they'll get a female showrunner, and then they'll pick a new Doctor. It'll take a couple more years. My guess, it'll be a POC, which again, fine, no problem with whatsoever, as long as it's good. But it'll be more agenda. That's what I have the problem with. I don't care who's running the show, and they'll probably make the Doctor a male again, but it'll still be the same old agenda. And then they might be surprised to hear the same complaining, which they will get. Trust me. It's not just bringing back a dude. You need to bring us back good sci-fi, which they won't do. I wish I could tell you different, unless somebody else controls the show. No, I don't know if HBO would do any different in Warner Brothers. And it's very interesting. Again, it going to HBO Max. So it left Netflix and Amazon. I preferred it on Netflix. It was more accessible. I liked it on Amazon though. And I watched it a lot on Amazon, even though I own the physical copies. I'm not going to watch it on HBO. For one, HBO's platform is gotten better. It got better with Game of Thrones this year, but it hasn't been good. Like HBO Now was a crap platform. My favorite drink mix is half cream lime juice with 1/4 of a can of Coca-Cola top it off with 2 shots of Jack Daniels or sour mash whiskey, bourbon or scotch. And that is from Ragnarok Ulfbert for $5. He wants to just give everybody his favorite drink. My favorite drink is half cream lime juice and a quarter can of Coca-Cola on top with 2 shots of Jack Daniels or a sour mash whiskey bourbon scotch. I love scotch. I don't drink. I don't drink. Dun, 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 dun. But that's good that you shared that with us. I mean, am I missing a quote from something? You never know. I don't catch everything. I am old. I am old, and I'm getting older. I'm going to be 50 very soon, very soon. And here I am talking about Doctor Who, and with no shame. There's no shame to my game whatsoever. I will be surrounded by action figures when I'm 95 years old. Anthony Lasago, if I make it, which is probably not. Anthony Lasago for $20. Feels like the dumbing down of society is finally catching up to us. Thank you for the $20, Anthony. Always very generous super chats. Thank you, Anthony. Yes, it is. I think it's caught up with us. Can we all agree on that? The dumbing down of society has caught up on us. Nova Roma for $4.99. What kind of doctor are you? I'm a doctor of any kind. K9 beats BB8. What kind of doctor am I? I'm a doctor of any kind. K9 does beat BB8. BB8's a beach ball. And we love K9. As a matter of fact, hang on. Do I have a K9 within reach? How many YouTubers can just pull out a K9? Right there. I got a zillion of these things. I got a big lot of action figures once, and this came as a bag of K9s. I have some of I have the little radio controlled ones too. K9. We love K9. Apparently they're going to do another kids show. I won't watch that though. Cracklin for $10. Can I shamelessly plug my brother's channel? Sure. It's called Game Rating Review. I would love if he could get a few more subs. So it's called Game Rating Review on YouTube. Go check it out. Rhino 4563 for $5. Gary, I really like The Boys. Never read the graphic novel, so I don't have any expectations. Baker was my introduction to the Doctor. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like The Boys. Baker was a lot of people's introduction, especially here in the States. And he's still the Doctor. You can have a doctor you could have a favorite doctor that isn't Baker and still think that Tom Baker is the Doctor. Because mine changes. I mean, there's Tom Baker and, there's John Pertwee and there's David Tennant. Peter Davison. I find, I don't know, I can enjoy it all, but I gravitate more to the third and fourth. And Eccleston. I love Eccleston. I wish we could have gotten multiple seasons with him. I thought he did the best acting job of the entire series. Gotta bounce, Gary. My phone is dying. LOL. Good night. Jody Bowie. I'm sorry you gotta bounce. Charge your phone. Thank you for $2. Mary Ashby for $2. Gary, sad to see you leave, but glad you are on here. Yes. Yes. I have to take care of business. I said I could only do 2 hours. I ended up doing 3 on the Exozone, so I think I did pretty good. Mark C for $5. You mentioned knowing a guy stuck with a bunch of Who merch. I have a 10-year-old looking to spend my money. Please DM me the contact. Sure, no problem. He'll probably want to sell you bulk though. I mean, that's what the deal was. So I was at Comic-Con. And I ran into somebody who, at the time, when I was selling Doctor Who merchandise in San Francisco, I had the biggest selection of Doctor Who merchandise in Northern California, without a doubt. I had more stuff than anybody. Half of my store was dead. I got so into Doctor Who, I dedicated half of my very small comic store to the damn show. And I didn't give a shit. I'm like, I don't care if these things sell or not. I like them. And they sold. But there was one guy who had a bigger selection than me in Southern California, who, business wise, I'd run into him a couple times. Saw him at Comic-Con and saw that he still had a bunch of Doctor Who merchandise. He's all, I'll sell it to you cheap. I'm stuck with this stuff now. The interest in Doctor Who is just rock bottom. And that's what his words were, rock bottom. So, ratings are great. But on the floor at retail Mecca, where, I mean, there is no better place to find Doctor Who fans in America, at a bunch of Doctor Who fans in one place. There is no better place than New York Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con. And when you say that sales for Doctor Who are rock bottom at Nerd Mecca, your series is in trouble. Now, if you don't want to listen or you don't care because it's just a political platform for you, okay, all right. Well, then it won't be around because it still costs you money. Now, Doctor Who signing with HBO Max must have given them some money. They've obviously got some money for that. So maybe that announcement September 28th is they're getting a third season and we're getting more of the same. And I can see it happening. I'm sorry to say it. God, just saying that makes my view numbers go down. I'd want to stop watching too. But yeah, it's... there's a point where we need to... I mean, we like to vent, but what we're doing here, what you're doing here is we're telling the BBC, hey, we want to keep giving you money. We'd love to keep giving you money, but you don't want our money. You don't even want us. You don't even like us. If you're center, now you're alt-right, whatever that is. I mean, whatever. If you don't like it, don't buy it. How many times have we heard that from Marvel Comics creators, from idiot creatives on Twitter? Jason Isaacs today, blocking my good friend Tom from Midnight's Edge for just thanking him for telling the truth that Star Trek Discovery creators didn't know what they were doing. And then he comes back and says, stop reading our Stop reading our personal Twitters. Dude, it's a public forum, moron. But it does say in his description that he is an amateur human and a professional faker. So I do appreciate his honesty, Jason. You were a pretty good Death Eater, though. You were. You should have been a better father to Draco. Sam Whiskey. Why did Q allow STD Picard? LOL. I don't know. Why did you allow this? Q was effing around and turned himself into an action figure, and he doesn't know how to turn himself back. Sam, that's the problem. And I have him. I know I don't. That's kind of borrowing from Doomcock's story. I have him trapped. I can't say that. I'm taking care of him until he figures it out. But Mark C, I'll get you that information. Mark C, why don't you email me a wish list? And he's got everything modern Doctor and modern action figures, like the classic, like a bunch of the good classic stuff. I'd just be getting doubles, but again, I can't find my Roger Delgado Master, so I might need another one. It disappeared. I want good sci-fi again on Doctor Who. The Daleks ain't a big threat anymore. And this coming from a Dalek fan says, and dude, Nicholas Horton, you are for real. Nicholas Horton has been around here, good member of the Fandom Menace, a Whovian to the core for £5. Yeah, they're not a threat anymore. And they need to be not reinvented, reestablished. All right, so you don't change their look. I'm sorry I don't have a regular... I have a Cult of Skaro Dalek right here. But they need to be reestablished, and what they need to do is reestablish them in I would get a sci-fi writer who is really good at, or even get a horror writer who's like dabbled in sci-fi to come in and make them scary as hell. And I thought it was actually, Asylum of the Daleks had a lot of great ideas in it with the whole, human Dalek thing. That was good. But then, like all Moffat things, it goes away. But yes, they need to be reestablished. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with inventing new villains. Just don't make them the Tooth Fairy. That was freaking stupid. It was playtime. It was Doctor Who cosplay time. Did anybody take that show seriously? I mean, they were fake running. Jodie can't run. Sorry. I know somebody bitched that I bitched about that, But if you're an actor in a action series, you should be able to run, or at least get a stunt woman to run for you. And because she runs all sideways. Sorry. Logic noodles for Australian $10. And again, apologies to my UK fans. I did this so late. So I'm going to keep this one up. And be sure to comment, and maybe I'll do another one for the UK. I didn't think about that. I was supposed to do this earlier, and I actually forgot about my Exozone commitment. Then I had to pick up my kid from camp. And then, funny story, real aside story, why I want to move from San Francisco. So Logan, Nerdrotic Jr., needs to pee. I'm driving down the streets of San Francisco, so you can't just like pull off into a parking lot at a Burger King or whatever and go pee. No, you have to spin around the block for a little while. People from London know what I'm talking about. Spin around the block for a little bit. Make sure you're going the right way. Find the parking spot, get the parking spot, get the kid out of the car, go into the coffee shop, buy a cup of coffee after you've waited in line so they can give you the key to the bathroom where he can go and pee. That's like a half hour. Kid's practically peed his pants. And you wonder why there's poop all over the streets in San Francisco. But that's why I was late to the Exozone. Damn it. G'day, Gary. Season 11 of Doctor Who was made so much worse over here, Australia, by our version of Whovian TV shows, which is woke as fuck. Airing after it. Oh, well, what aired after it? Our version of Whovian TV. Oh, so other Australian TV shows? Or did you have like an After Who show? I did an After Who show. It got a lot of people coming in. Well, at the time, I was a much smaller channel. Thank you, Whovians, by the way. And I will be covering every episode live after it airs in the UK because I have my secret way of viewing, which hopefully will work in 2020, but that's what VPNs are for. And I will go live after it airs in the UK. It usually airs about 11 a.m. here, which is a really good time to watch it, by the way. But that'll be Saturday. But it's a long way off. I think we are getting a holiday special. People keep talking about it though. Rob Pinto for $2. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Keeps the lights on here. Stephen Pister for $2. Hey Gary, accounting into the night. Keep it up. Oh well, good luck. Have fun crunching those numbers for other people, but you're probably making pretty good coin doing that. So good luck. Good luck. Reminds me. Taxes. Ooh. Comic Aussie for Australian $10. Gary, the woke folk will go berserk when Jodie is replaced with a male doctor again. My 4 daughters flipped out Nicolas Cage style when they introduced a female doctor and have never gone back. Damage done. Really? It's actually not the first time I've heard that. How many kids just walked away? Here's something that the woke folk hate to hear. Do you know why some women, a lot of women watch a TV show? It's not to see themselves and pretend, okay? Because they're adults. But they do like, I don't know, good-looking guys or good-looking girls, but they like good-looking guys to look at. They're into that kind of thing because they don't hate men. Most normal women don't hate men, but there's this hatred of men right now, and that's what it is. And it's interesting. It's interesting that and now here in Hollywood, it's because women were treated very poorly in Hollywood for a long time, but we the customers didn't do anything, by the way. But there was a lot of men and women in Hollywood who didn't do anything about it for years, but now they're lashing out and fixing it within the narrative of TV shows, which doesn't seem to make sense to me. And you're alienating people you don't intend to alienate by making episodes like Arachnids in the UK, which has just American hotel owners just shooting things and being scared. Wow. Okay. Glad you think so highly of us over here in the States. But believe it or not, it's not gunfights everywhere. It's not the Wild West. My window is open. You don't hear any gunshots. And I'm in the middle of a metropolitan city because it's not happening that much. That's why. Don't believe the news. Turn off the mainstream media. Watch YouTube. Grimy for Australian $5. I finally got around to watching Cobra Kai. That's how you do justice to source material. Goddamn right. That's a good show. Cobra Kai is an oasis in the desert of woke. There's a few shows out there that are still good. The Orville, Cobra Kai. Very sad news. Taboo will probably not be coming back with Tom Hardy, so enjoy the first season. Mark C. for $2. British actor John Hannah would make a good doctor. Mark C., you would make a good doctor over Jodie. But I agree with that. Joe Packer for $5. Gary, I watched your old streams and you have some explaining to do about your nice review of the first episode of STD. By the way, you look better in the beard. I don't have an explaining to. I told you. I told everybody. I gave the show a chance. I gave it a legit chance. I watched every episode. Did you make it to the end? That was back in the days where I was very I rode the fence because I really haven't found my voice as a YouTuber yet. Had about 300 subs. But no, I stand by everything I said in that thing. I gave it a fair chance. You can't say I didn't. I watched the first episode. I was like, but watch as time goes on. Watch as time goes on. You know, when it started, I wanted good Star Trek. You know what? Watch my review of Doctor Who episode 1 of series 11. Now, I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. I was like, it's okay. It had moments. It was all right. Yeah, go back and watch it. And I was beardless, yes, in the Star Trek one. But I gave everything a fair chance. Turned into woke crap. So, but it was an evolution, Joe. Thank you for the $5. Gert Frobe for $5. Over Doctor Who. Have all earlier seasons. 98 Godzilla was okay, but not Godzilla. I have a 98 Godzilla hand puppet. Do you? Gert, I do not. I do not. As a matter of fact, I own nothing Godzilla except for a DVD that somebody sent me, which is King Kong versus Godzilla to watch with Nerdrotic Jr. Now, I've watched them all, but I'm just not a collector of it. The stuff is too big, and I've already a collector of too many. I still collect a little bit of Star Trek stuff, a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff. Like, I pretty much want everything Lord of the Rings. And I have every modern action figure of Doctor Who except for the new stuff that just came out. I don't have a Bill action figure, and I don't want one. I don't want any of the new companions. I don't want Jodie, but I want that 8th Doctor Dalek set. I want it. And I'll get it somehow. Let's get to the chat, okay? We got through the super chats. Let's get to the chat. Hugh Laurie would be, at first I was against him. I would love Hugh Laurie as a doctor. I think it would be fantastic. I did like House. It was a ridiculous show, formulaic. He took Vicodin and thought of an out-of-the-box way to get somebody's heart started again every episode. But, yeah. Late to the game. What did you miss? Modalicious for $2. The greatest live stream of all time. Thank you. I'm glad Nihilist Shadow, Band 1905, Frederick Bismarck, Quester, Richard Short, Nina Fabiano, Sketch of Scotch were all part of the greatest live stream of all time. And Modalicious, you missed it because all the greatness is gone now. It's just average live stream. Surly Unicorn. Oh, man. Remember how great that live stream was, Surly Unicorn? But it's not anymore because Modalicious came in with a $2 super chat. Just kidding, Modalicious. You know I love you. Gazira. Hugh Laurie would be House with a TARDIS, though. I'm fine with that. Bradley Fortner. I'm honestly, I would take... God, I would take anything over what we have right now. I would. I'm seeing if there's any updates. I would take Rowan Atkinson as the Doctor. I would. Let's see, Doctor Who news. Let's see what pops up. Well, here, let's show you. Is that it? Yeah. Same picture I showed earlier. So I put Doctor Who news, right, in the Googles. And that's what comes up. Oh, there's some Jodie stuff. Doctor Who to stream on HBO Max. Doctor will battle the Cybermen. Well, that's 4 weeks old. That's a week old. Doctor Who Times Champion was an ambitious tribute to a particular era. That was 2 days ago. David Tennant. Doctor Who Torchwood. Yeah, look at that. Wow. You think people miss David Tennant? I do. Fuck nuggets. Says Motorlicious for $2. It's all right. You're here now, though, mate. You're here. Bishop Cruz, $2. How about an 8th Doctor mini BBC or an old doc? How about an 8th Doctor mini BBC or an old doc? My favorite old Doctor is the 3rd Doctor. The 3rd Doctor, by far. Spearhead from Space is my favorite introduction of a Doctor. His first color episode. And listen, back in the day, I didn't see any of the black and white stuff. It was available, but I don't remember them showing it on PBS. They might have. But I do remember seeing 3rd Doctor. I remember seeing a lot of 4th and 5th Doctor, a little bit of 6th. And I honestly, by the time the 7th one would roll around in the 80s, I was like getting high every day and not watching TV. So I watched that later. But I love Spearhead from Space. He's, Pertwee was kind of like the Bond. You guys know this. I'm preaching in the choir here. Bond karate doctor, and he was funny. And goddamn, that shower scene, it's just funny. It was funny. It was good. Sure, it was 70s sexist, but they still had, Liz Shaw. She was, they always, little lady. She's like, I'm a doctor. How about Rowan Atkinson's 1999 Curse of the Fatal Death rocks? Yes, written by Stephen Moffat. I appreciate the fact that you exist, buddy. Oh, thank you. Okay, how I say your name? Qual 5 Cap 123. I hope I got that right. Thank you for the 20 Norwegian crowns. Man, my mouth isn't working. What the fuck? Thank you very much. And that was Chucknit for $2. Yes, Curse of the Fatal Death does rock. I rewatch it all the time. It's fantastic and it's prophetic. All right, back to the chat. I lost my chat. Where'd it go? Where did you go? There it is. I still had the Exozone chat. I'm all, what? Oh, well, hey, Doomcock. I was just on the Exozone. I will link this in the description if you want to hear some paranormal talk. I do that with Doomcock every Thursday. We switch the channel. It's usually at 1 p.m. Pacific time. He and I do a show every Sunday. It's turning into kind of a cool big show. So please join us. 6 p.m. Pacific time every Sunday for the Inquisition, and Doctor Who will be a major part of it this Sunday. I am not done with Doctor Who. I was hoping to get more news. I really was. I was hoping to get confirmation of this. The TARDIS zone, man, I wanted you to be right, brother. I do. It could still happen. But I'll tell you what, the parts of the rumors I just don't believe are the Neil Gaiman, Michael Sheen parts. That seems like way too much icing on the cake to me. And also there's the evidence of Neil Gaiman has got that exclusive with Amazon. Now, certainly he could, I know working on Doctor Who is not a show you can work on a bunch of other shows on, maybe a single show, but I think it requires your full attention because it's not just a TV show. It hasn't, for Chibnall, it's been just a TV show. Usually they're traveling around the world and trotting out Jodie. I had a conversation with a podcaster and we talked right around Comic-Con, right after I got back from Comic-Con, and we both said that if you wanted to really reach out and send an olive branch out to the Whovian fans, what you would do is have Jodie come out and be publicly charming and not political in any way, and even throw an olive branch out to like Brexiters and people in the center and on the right, just a little one, not much, just to show that, hey, you guys are welcome back. And then trot her out to every single Comic-Con imaginable, have a panel of her getting to firmly showing she's a doctor and then shaking hands and being charming and winning people over. You know why they didn't do that? Because she can't. But every other doctor, Peter Capaldi was walking the floor at San Diego and photobombing people. Peter Capaldi. That's what you need to do. That happened to a couple of friends of mine. They were just standing there and all of a sudden Peter Capaldi walks up to them and like ends up in their photo. That's how you do it. That's how you win people over. Nope. No presence at San Diego whatsoever. They had the BBC booth and they were selling like those, not, the Titans figures, but the big dumb ones. Yeah, they were selling some of those. But I remember years they were selling action figure sets, lunch boxes, and the 10th Doctor sonic screwdriver universal remote for $150 that now goes for like $500, $600 if you can find it. And it came in like this case with schematics and fuck, that was awesome. Nope. Now it's some t-shirts, some stupid plastic moldy toy, and and no dudes were wearing a Jodie shirt. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Just like dudes other than John Campea are not going to wear a Captain Marvel sweatshirt. Again, you might want the world to be that way. It's just not. Gert Frobe, Hugh Laurie would make a great Doctor Who. Rowan Atkinson also. How about bringing back Christopher Eccleston? Hell yeah. Yes. But if you're going to bring somebody back, Paul McGann deserves a season of Doctor Who. What do you think about that? Come on. Yes, he does. He does. Hey, man, my dream doctor waking up male after 11 and 12 series just being nightmares could happen. Would love to see Paul McGann get a proper run. Super Cat, thank you for the $4.99. I'm right there with you. Bear Nerd Fun, $2. Hail to you, Gary. You give good advice. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad I did. Thank you. I do my best. Thank you, Bear Nerd Fun. I meant how about doing a mini series? Okay, I got you. I'm sorry. With the old doctor to get the fandom excited. My fault for trying to get all 50 characters. No, I'm sorry. You had to put $5 more in, Bishop Cruz. I wish I could refund you. That's my fault. I should have caught that. Yes, do a little mini adventure, a couple hour episode of Paul McGann. Bring back an old companion. Give him a companion he wouldn't normally have. Like bring out Martha and whatever, or whoever you want. Donna. Bring back Donna. Paul McGann and Donna. People would love that. They'd go freaking nuts. The fandom would be healed so quickly if you just did good sci-fi and didn't alienate half your audience. But there's a part of the fandom right now. There's a part of the fandom that's super divisive and they think they are the empathetic ones because they think they're right. And they are actually the nastiest parts of this fandom by thinking they're the most inclusive. By the way, their inclusivity, listen, lip service. It's fracking lip service, at least from one of them. So, and listen, they've made videos about me. That's great. Awesome. I make more videos about me. You can use my content. You can use whatever you want. I will never, ever false flag you or anything. Feel free. I don't care. But I don't know. I'm my life's pretty much an open book. Check me out first. Clive Owen for the Doctor. That'd be pretty good. That would be pretty good. Listen, the Michael Sheen rumor, that'd be brilliant. He'd be a perfect Doctor. Him and David Tennant had great chemistry. Aside from some of the wokeness and Good Omens, those two together was like, I could watch that. If it was just them having dinner for 10 hours, I would have rather have seen that. The other characters, not very good. Some were okay, but I don't know. Neil Gaiman wrote Mary Sue's before Mary Sue's. All his female characters sound like somebody he wants to date. I'm okay with Neil Gaiman. He's got good days, got bad days. He wrote The Doctor's Wife. That's a brilliant episode. That is a flat out brilliant episode. I have that. Let's see. That TARDIS is right above me. The makeshift one. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. Can't see it. Where'd it go? I'm pointing the camera right at it. There it is. That's the bottom of it. Yeah, I've got TARDISes and Daleks hanging there. There we go. Uh-oh. What the hell's that? That's stuck. All right. Dudes in a Jodie shirt would look like Mork. They would, Fat Gandalf. They would. They had plenty of Jodie shirts there. They just weren't buying them. And I'll restate that I saw 6 women cosplay the 12th Doctor fantastically. It was brilliant. Well done. And then I saw 4 women cosplaying Jodie, which is like the easiest thing to cosplay. You could buy the whole suit at Hot Topic. And it didn't even stand out. It's like, blah, blah. And Capaldi's stuff didn't like stand out that much either, but the women dressing him were better. They were better. Thank you. Logic Noodles, by the way, and Gert Frobe and Memp and Fat Gandalf. Fat Gandalf. All right. Let's get to the chat one more time here. Peter Dinklage as a Doctor would be great. Oh, wait. Oh, really? Okay, I'm going to check that out right now. Problem being, one moment, please. It's still there. Somebody said it disappeared, but it's still there. But maybe it's in my cookies. Doctor Who departure rumors branded nonsense by insiders. Let's see what these shills have to say, shall we? Why is that off to the side like that? Hang on. That's better. All right. This is 13 hours ago. 13 hours ago. Doctor Who departure rumors branded nonsense by insiders. From Radio Times, the public relations wing of Doctor Who shillery. Exclusive. Series showrunner Chris Chibnall and star Jodie Whittaker have not quit the BBC sci-fi series, according to insiders. 13 Hours by Hugh Fullerton. Rumors have swirled over the last couple of days that the Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall has quit the long-running BBC sci-fi series. With unsubstantiated unsubstantiated reports also suggesting the lead actor Jodie Whittaker has departed in sympathy. Sephora, everybody, Sephora. Yeah, you can tell what Mrs. Nerdrotic was looking at. However, Radiotimes.com now understands there is no truth to the speculation about Chris Chibnall and or Whittaker's departure, with show insiders bewildered by false rumors that they say bear little resemblance to... Wait. We're rewinding. We're backing up. Beep, beep, beep. Bear little resemblance to the reality of Series 12 filming. Why not bear no resistance at all? Like nothing like it. Bad writing? Possibly. Look at this headline. David Tennant says it would be fun for the Doctor Who 60th anniversary, which is the Doctor Who 60th anniversary, by the way, is like years off. Years off. Okay, we got, 2021 or 22? Yeah, let's not rush into anything, guys. I'm going to be 53 when that fucking thing comes out. This is all total nonsense, says person we made up to deny rumors. I mean, a well-placed Doctor Who source told Radio Times. You know what? I could be a well-placed Doctor Who source. I talk about Doctor Who. I can verbally communicate, so therefore I am a source. This has originated and spread through the online rumor mill. Okay. I still don't know where they originally came from. I don't. Nobody. No. I had heard about it from a couple of emails, but none of my usual people reached out to me at all. Which is fine. I'm not a news agency. I don't care. Apparently, the new rumors originated on a popular Doctor Who message board before being spread on social media platforms, with many fans anticipating an official announcement about either Chibnall or Whittaker's departure immediately, while also speculating about which other regular writers could be stepping in to take over. Pete Matigue, However, many others pointed out how unlikely nature of the longtime Doctor Who writer departing the showrunner position mid-series, while some noted the similar rumors relating to Chibnall's exit had been suggested and disproven on more than one occasion since it took over the job in 2017. No, there's a rumor that Chibnall and Jodie are stepping down after Series 12. And we'll find out if that rumor is true. That rumor was started by Starburst Magazine. I did a video on it, and it actually got things rolling for this channel. That's when things really started getting rolling for the channel. And again, it was just speculation from an article I read. That's it. As it stands, both Chibnall and Whittaker are set to continue filming Series 12. In the coming weeks and months, though exactly what they're shooting is a bit of a mystery. Apart from the return of the rhino-like Jadoon and hints of a wartime France episode, little to no information has been shared about their 13th Doctor and her friends and her fam, played by Bradley Walsh, Mandy Gibb, Tosa Cole, will go in the eagerly awaited new episodes. I'm not. I'm actually really hoping they'd put this off. Wherever they go, though, one thing's for sure, the team aren't going their separate ways just yet. Well, you used an inside source to debunk an inside source. I think that's some pretty stupid shit. Okay, so concerning, that's one thing they did point out that is, I will agree with. There is no talk about the show. You want to know why? You want to know why there's no theorizing or rumors or, oh, do you think Captain Jack will come back? Remember Captain Jack was always coming back, blah, 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 blah. There was always, theories on Reddit. You know why this is at an all-time low? Because nobody cares. Nobody cares about this show. This is the most excitement fans have had in months, hearing that Chibnall might be fired. It fired up a lot of Whovians. People were excited. They could have their show back. And it's still possible, folks, but you're going to have to get through Series 12. I think you're going to have to get through Series 12. But the funny thing is, yeah, we haven't heard a damn thing. We haven't seen too many set photos other than the Jadoon. So maybe there is truth to the rumor that they've had to rewrite a lot of scripts, do a lot of reshooting, and Chibnall's heart's not in it because he's not good. He's not good at this. Maybe last year was his best effort. And that probably was. What's the definition of insanity, folks? It ain't going to get better. They have the same writers as last year, the same showrunner, same actors on the same network. It's going to be same bullshit. So just watch out. That's what it's going to be. Bourbon sherbet for $2. The last EXO I see is 4 months old. Where are they at? DM Doomcock. All of mine are on the channel. Nerdrotic Live. Bourbon sherbet. Yeah, we each have 2 channels. So you can search Exozone, and that'll pop up there at the Harvey Zone. And mine are on Nerdrotic Live. A shirt with the Dalek chasing the female doctor yelling, "Inseminate," would sell just for the funny factor. It really would. It really would, Gert Frobe. Have you seen Rowan Atkin's Doctor Who for comic relief? Logic Noodles for Australian $5. We were discussing it earlier, Logic Noodles. Yes, I have. And it is quite good. It is quite good. That is quite good. All right. We are going to jump over here. Bring back Jenny. American actor. Peter Dinklage is the only American actor who I would consider playing the Doctor, but it's really up to you guys in the UK. I don't want anybody American involved in the show. And bring back Murray Gold for crap's sake. BoJack Horse? Oh, hell no. Oh, God, no. The Jadoon, that's funny. Sounds like a J.J. Abrams move. Look, Jadoon, remember that? Watch our show, buy our toys, and shut up. I'm sorry, I added that. Autumn Mirabilis? Autumn Mirabilis, sorry. It is a J.J. Abrams move. It is. Remember the old stuff? Come in, watch our stuff, shut up, and give us your money. Stop complaining. This is what you're getting. We're going to give you what you need, not what you want, because we know what you need here at the BBC. We are creating this show about a person who could travel instantaneously in time and space, although they don't generally go where they want to teach you a lesson about racism, because before you watched Doctor Who, you didn't know racism was bad. I know. And climate change. Okay, kids, pay attention. Yes. Your nanny, the BBC, is going to come and teach you how to live through a science fiction show about a person in a police box. Tommy Wiseau is the Doctor. Yes. Remember the Death Star? Yeah, remember? We're going to have Ray pick it up with the Force because she's badass. Home Alone, the remake, starring Bob Iger stuck by himself in the Kremlin in Moscow. I'd watch that. I'd invest in the Disney again. I would invest in the Disney again to get that. Oh, I don't. Yeah, nobody cares about the Jadoon. The Jadoon are a joke. I got a Jadoon right here. They just make a dumb action figure. That's it. It's a rhino in bondage wear with a kilt. Yep. If not Murray Golden, someone who can write appropriate music. Yeah, Moons of Madness, not that synth crap, so boring. It was like he was on one key the whole time going, it was terrible. It was terrible. Did they release a soundtrack for Series 11? Did they really do that? Jason Isaacs to play the next Master, he'd probably be pretty damn good, Lagbuster. He's kind of a numbskull. He's a knucklehead, man. He's an empty-headed actor. He shouldn't try to human very much. He should just do the pretend thing and he'll be just fine. He was good as a bad dad to Draco. The Spice Girls is the new Doctor. Well, we kind of have that already. Bishop Cruz for $2 for good Doctor Who. A lot of Big Finish is on Spotify for free. Oh yeah. I'm a proud member. I subscribe to Big Finish. I have most of it, most of the older stuff, digital, but I like my hard copies. I like my physical copies. Both of my cars still have CD players, yo. The Rock is Doctor Who. That would be so fracking American. That would. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead. If you do a Mike Zero parody vid, I would love to see you say that Rey will wield a lightsaber in episode 9 along with other obvious news. You mean like, I believe that Rey will wear pants in episode 9 and she will wield a lightsaber. And then she'll raise the Death Star from Jakku. And I believe that would be really great. I think that's something I'd really be into. Yeah. For more future Doctor Who content, please check into Gary Zero. There you go. Yeah, so, Bourbon, Sherbert, Exozone, Nerderotic Live, and the Harvey Zone. Please check for that. Okay, folks, we got to wrap this one up. I got to go get Mrs. Nerderotic from work. There will be more Doctor Who to talk about. We'll do a UK version tomorrow. But honestly, it's just a place to come and we can commiserate. Because I didn't think the rumors were going to be true. I wanted them to be true desperately. And if they are, I will be happy. I will be happy to say I was wrong. I'm okay with saying it. And that's no shade on anybody who reported it at all. I would do the same thing. And, listen, the only people who know are the people who have these sources, and their sources know. If they really want to get it out there, though, they would have to do something. You can't reveal sources. You just can't, or you don't have any sources. It's not how it works. So we have one anonymous source debunking another anonymous source. So I think it's, maybe there is some truth in there. Maybe somewhere within there's some truth, that there's turmoil on the set, or maybe what the Reddit article said, that they plan to leave after the season and some rumor got out and they jumped the gun. All possibilities are true. We discuss them here because that's what we do on YouTube. Recently I got some shit from a friend. Well, kind of. And I don't know how much we're friends anymore, but listen, sometimes when you commentate on YouTube, people get mad. I don't know why. They just do. So somebody recently asked me why fail was my favorite word. And they didn't want to associate a comment to this channel because they're too good. Because their opinion matters so much. They can't associate it with this panel. Okay, buddy. All right. Yeah. So, and then accuse me of being clickbait. And I'm just like, well, you got to understand YouTube, and a lot of people don't understand YouTube. So, you do need to talk about your title, which I did, which I always do, and that's fine. And that's how YouTube runs. And what we in fandom do, especially this person should know this, by the way, the person who made this statement should know this, because the person who made this statement does the same damn thing in his job every single day that we do right here. But maybe they've fooled themselves into thinking they're different. Whatever. It's fine. This person always has had a bit of a very high opinion of themselves. And that's fine. Again, they've earned it. But what we do is we speculate, we pontificate, we discuss, we question, we discard. That's what we do here. That's what part of YouTube is. It's just a place to talk. Nobody's talking absolute facts. We'll find out. Guess we'll find out. But if it does indeed, if it's true, listen, I know I'm going to regret saying this, but we'll do I won't say 24-hour, but we will do a very, very long live stream celebrating the end. Unfortunately, it probably won't be the true end, but if we get Chibnall out of there and if they change the direction of the show, then that's a victory. when it actually happens. But we'll see. We'll see. Bruce Lombardo is ordering me to go to my mailbox when I have time, my friend. Thank you, though. Thank you for the $1.99. JPRPH1 for $1.99. Thanks for the stream, Gary. You are welcome. Those fans who brought those new Big Finish Classic Doctor Who sets early, while the rest of us have to wait until late August. Oh, so we so did they offer them limited? Well, I mean, late August is only a couple weeks away. Yeah, there's nothing on eBay right now, Nicholas. But yeah, I'll just buy one on eBay. I would rather pay a few bucks extra than wait in some line or whatever like that. If they chose an American actor for it, I can think that Robert Downey Jr. could bring the energy it needs. He would. He's too big for the part, and honestly, Doctor Who works best with a character actor. But yeah, he'd be. Who would say no to that? Nobody. All right, everybody. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for partaking in this. For my UK friends, I apologize. I did not put this at an hour to where you could watch it, so I will leave it on the channel. Enjoy it, share it. Not like it, do what you like. But be sure to grab some Wild Bill's soda at Silicon Valley Comic Con. Well, I will, Neo Valentine, and I will be at Silicon Valley Comic Con next weekend. It's next weekend, right? Yeah, it's next weekend as a trusted member of the press. Yes. Doctor Sketches Scotch. That's good. I like that. RDJ can fix anything. Well, not anymore. He's out of the MCU. Good night, Wrenches. Thank you, Chris Persia. And who else was here? Mark Lazarth and Mary Ashmead, Christy Miller. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. And everybody in the chat, go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. And yeah, damn near early in the stream, I almost hit the stop streaming button. It's been up there. And if I just double clicked it, it would have ended. But now we can end the stream and know that unfortunately Chris Chibnall is still in charge. So we, as far as we know, of Doctor Who, Jodie's still the Doctor. It'll probably be that way through series 12, which is what I expected. But we'll see how things play out. You can get away with this woke shit once. You can. And what Star Trek Discovery had to do was bring back Spock. And it still didn't work. So Doctor Who is, so their answer is the Dune. Oh, that's, I mean, listen, you got to mock this stuff, and I will review every single episode live and in a recorded video, and things should be very interesting. It looks like it's coming back in spring of 2020, and we'll have Doctor Who and Picard on at the same time. Wow, that's going to be crazy. But we'll have to also survive Batwoman and Watchmen, which come out in a couple short months. But we should be enjoying, well, not enjoying, we should be watching and cringing at Doctor Who in the next couple months, but they couldn't manage to get it out on time. It's too bad. All right, everybody, have a good night. Thank you, and I will see you soon. More videos tomorrow. Bye-bye.